What's up, people? J Sauce over here, and I just finished watching the keynote speech for the opening of Final Fantasy 14 FanFest for 2016 going on in Las Vegas, and I have exciting news for you guys. So, without any further delay, let's get right into it. So, first of all, the keynote speech opens with a cutscene, which Yoshi P explained later that was a teaser for the opening movie of the new expansion. Now, in this cutscene, we see a place, which is a brand new place for Final Fantasy XIV, called Ralgar's Reach. Now, we see a man and a woman locked into hand-to-hand combat. Now, I'm going to be honest, when I saw the woman coming into the scene, she looked like she was dancing, and I instantly assumed that the new class was confirmed, but in a classic Yoshi P move, he just came in with a very enigmatic t-shirt and left us in the dust, wondering if that's true or not. So as far as new classes being confirmed, nothing official yet. The only thing official is, as Evansward had the Dragoon as a central role, this expansion will feature the Monk as a central role. So, starting at the beginning after that cutscene is off, he projected for the expansion to be coming out some time in the summer of 2017. Now, you could have a month or two of delay due to development issues, but they usually deliver when they say they deliver, so we just have to wait and see. As far as storyline goes, well, the storyline revolves around the Warrior of Light, which is us, interacting with the resistance of Alamigo to take back their home from the Garlemald Empire Dominion. Now, this brings us to the new antagonist in the expansion. He is the commander of the 12th Legion of the Empire, and his name is Xenos. Now, the storyline will unravel much in the very same way that Evansward is being unraveled, so we will go from place to place to unlock the next chapter in the story, and that will brings us to explore the new areas and also watch the awesome work that developers in the Final Fantasy XIV team have been doing. Sorry about that. So this will bring us to the new features of the game. The first one they talked about is something called additional skills features. Now, this actually is talking about the cross-class features. So what happened up until this point is that the cross-class skills, we level up a class, let's say Paladin, until level 60, and then we level up Warrior until level 34, and we take the skills that we need, or we level up until 50. And we take the skills that we need. But the problem with that is, with that system specifically, is that most of the cross-class skills that we have, we don't use them. We take one or two, three skills, and that's it. So what they're gonna do on the additional skill system is they're gonna have a complete reassessment of the skills, and the ones that are unused or ineffective will be eventually scaled down and in order to trim that system to make it more effective. And I'm not going to say confusing, but maybe reduce the skills that we don't use to make a more trim system. Now, the next new feature, which is brand new, it talks about the UI. So here's the problem in Final Fantasy XIV. Well, it's not really a problem, it's more like an observation. So we have mid-core and hardcore players, and we have casual players. Now, as we level up and our buffs stack up, we usually have a pretty good idea as mid-core to hardcore players how to manage our buffs. but the casual player has a little bit more difficulty. So in light of this fact, what they're going to do is revamp the UI, and they're going to include something they called the buff gauge, which will help us monitor our buffs a little better, which eventually will bridge the gap between the casual player and the more mid-core to hardcore player. Now, as far as Primals go, this is confirmed by Yoshi P himself. You will be adding new Primals on the new expansion, as expected. Now, the curious fact about this is he's going to bring some Primals that already exist in the Final Fantasy series, but you will also bring new Primals that are exclusive to the Final Fantasy 14 game. And he said he's going to develop more on that later on, so let's hope that when the information comes out, I'll be able to put it out for you guys. Now, as far as dungeons and raids, yes, there will be new dungeons as expected. I'm not sure about the number. None of that was confirmed. What they talked about was the high-end raids. Now, Bahamut had 1 difficulty. Alexander had 2 difficulties. And on this new raid, they're gonna add different difficulties, but they've been taking into account the community feedback. Now, there was an idea that they particularly liked, which was it was proposed to them that if the raids have different difficulties, why not add a different storyline to each difficulty? So they talked about it, they discussed, they did nothing set in stone. It's an avenue they might pursue and they might not pursue. Again, this was the official unveiling, so the information, we don't have much information. Speculating about it is not really my deal. So, moving on. As far as new alliance raids, for those of you that don't know what an alliance raid is, we're talking about raids like Crystal Tower and whatnot, which is the 24-man raid. Now, they said they're going to add a new one with the expansion. The difficulty might be a little up on this one, and the team will be very Final Fantasy. Now, they also talked about a new feature that's actually an area called the Forbidden Area. This is a completely new area within the game, which is full with exploratory missions, which might even include a monster that spawns every 72 hours, you know, like, oh, wink wink, hint hint. And it might even include quest lines for the relic weapons. That's right, we're talking about a stage which is more of an exploratory stage instead of a pure grind stage. I, for one, would be very happy to see some variation. Not that I'm complaining about the quest line. I think it's great. But if you add more features to the relic weapon quest line, it just makes it more fun. And now, one of the features that I've personally been expecting for, and I'm pretty sure some of you, if not the vast majority of you, have been waiting for, they talked about the new inventory expansion. That's right, folks. Inventory expansion. More inventory space. Which one of us hadn't had the problem of managing your inventory all the time? Even get extra retainers to hold your inventory. Well, they talked about it, and they're gonna do it. Now, this is a system that is one of the core systems of the servers. So, messing with the inventory system might take a toll on the stability of the servers. Now, the solution they came up with for a smoother launch would be to divide the expansion into 2 parts. Now, the second new feature, which is the long-awaited one, they will be adding a Fort residential area. Now, yeah, a Fort residential area. So we're talking about new housing. Now, when people started asking him where, and you know that most of the community actually have been calling out for residential area in Ishgard, Yoshipi refused to disclose the information. His reason for not disclosing the information on the new residential area is the fact that is a big part of the new storyline, and we prefer us to find for ourselves. Now, as far as the new area is concerned, not the cutscenes, but they showed us a couple of screenshots. What we watched was a wooded area. That mountain area, Rhaegar's Reach, actually has Rhaegar himself, which is a deity that the locals worship, sculpted on the mountain itself. It looks really cool. You guys are gonna love it when you see it. Also, I saw what looked like a new city-state. I mean, it could be considered speculation, but adding a new area always puts a new city-state on it. Now, the only thing that is actually confirmed as the name of the new area is Rhaegar's Reach. Now, the design for it is beautiful. What they did was combine the architecture of Alamigo with the Garlemald architecture, which is good because will give us a chance to actually see the Garlemald architecture from up close. It looks really good. It has a really good feeling to it. I loved it. Now, as far as the new expansion goes, as part of content, this was pretty much all that is said. Now, they came forth with two new announcements. First, they're gonna raise the minimum requirements for Windows users. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna slowly shift from the Windows 32-bit version to the 64-bit version. The reason for this is to provide the players with a better graphic experience. Now, for the second announcement, the support for the PlayStation 3 will get with the launch of Stormblood. Now, they recognize as the game grew, the PS3 players were a big part of it. They're one of the main reasons why Final Fantasy 14 is where it is right now. But by running the numbers, they see that many PS3 users actually changed to PS4, and from a logistic point of view, they decided it was the best option. But it's not something that's going to happen fast, and they took measures to help ease the transition. Now, the first step for helping the PS3 players to transition to PS4 is they're going to partner up with Sony, and they're going to go into an upgrade campaign. Okay, guys, that was the highlight of the keynote speech. Let me know what you think of it by leaving a comment below. You can also follow me on Twitter. The link will be on the description. Until then, see you in Idleshire. Peace out.